Good morning, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We're here today for the Extension Service budget. If you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here today. The first order of business is to elect a chair of the Budget Committee. Anybody have an idea for a nomination?
I nominate Jeff Johnson. I would nominate Tom Nelson.
So I heard Tom Nelson first.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Anybody opposed to that? Seeing none, the motion passes, and I'll hand over the gavel and the chair to Mr. Nelson.
Okay. So, let me borrow this here a little bit. This is the Douglas County 4-H Master Gardener and Extension Service District Budget Committee meeting, and today we're ready for your presentation.
Me too. Yay, still good to sit at the table. Thank you, Commissioner Boyce. Okay, the Douglas County 4-H Master Gardener and Extension Service District was formed in May 2008 through ballot measure 1086. Oh, before I forget, does everybody have the color-coded packets in minutes next year? It's very important. Its stated purpose is to provide funding for staff, office space, supplies, services, travel, and other costs associated with the operation of extension programs. Second, unwind my glasses. I know this isn't happening to you. And other costs associated with the operation of extension programs in Douglas County. The proposed budget has been prepared according to Oregon's local budget law, ORS 294, and is presented for review and comment. Projected revenues for the current fiscal year are anticipated at $680,022, with expenditures over budget by $14,542 due to an increase in our lease agreement with the county effective January 1st, which was not anticipated with the fiscal year 25 budget when it was approved. A supplemental budget to adjust appropriations was approved on March 19th, 2025. We continue to offer innovative in-person and remote learning modules and workshops, with our overall impact for fiscal year 25 to date being 38,531 clients. The proposed budget includes the following: beginning balance of $811,099, income of $675,905 in current taxes, $16,000 in prior year taxes, $10,000 in interest earnings, with a total income of $701,905. Expenses will be a $3,000 annual audit, $822,493 in OSU extension expenses, the contingency of $41,275, and then finally an ending balance of $646,236. Form LB20 and LB30 summarize the district's current proposed budgets and provide actual data for the two previous budget years. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2026 would certify a tax rate of 6 cents per $1,000 of assessed value on taxable property, which is less than the district's allowable limit of 6.5 cents. Appendix A provides budget details and includes 2 prior years' actual data, an estimate of year-end activity, and proposed budgets for 3 account categories. District, county is the official district budget, reflecting activity within the district, account maintained by the county finance director. OSU, which is district related, expenses incurred by the OSU Extension Service, reimbursed by the district per its intergovernmental agreement, and any reimbursements that would offset those expenses. OSU non-district is self-funded activity of the Extension Office, including generated revenues and associated expenses. Extension's budget request includes funding for the following positions, which is 6.2 FTE. 2 full-time and 1 part-time office employee, 2.45 FTE. A local liaison administrative office manager, 1 FTE. 4-H educational program assistant 2, 1 FTE. Small farms program coordinator, 1 FTE. And then educational program assistant 2 for all extension programs at 0.75 FTE. Two expenses proposed for fiscal year '26 are different from the preceding years. One is a request to fund an educator position whose primary role will be to develop and deliver in-person educational programming. This new position will broaden our impact with several new outreach initiatives, such as our Veteran Entrepreneurial Program. This request also supports the best option for county clients while spending down our beginning balance to align with state budget guidelines. The fiscal year 2025 adopted amount of $16,208 for extension rent was increased by approving a supplemental budget in March. It was increased on January 1st, 2025 from $1,159 to $5,600 per month, which is the second expense changing year over year. In addition to the resources allocated by the district, Extension's operations are augmented through the Mercy Foundation funds, a portion of our two SNAP-Ed nutrition educator salaries at $61,665. Extension programs are estimated to generate $54,500 in non-district income through class fees, enrollment, sales, grants, and sponsorships. And then this revenue will be invested to expand the scope of our programs and services available to Douglas County residents. OSU provides in-kind support for administrative and accounting resources and salary and benefits for 8 educators, totaling $724,419. Over 400 active volunteers are contributing their time and expertise. A conservative estimate of volunteer hours for our 4-H program is 48,500, and documented volunteer hours for all other programs are 18,153. IndependentSector.org says volunteer time is worth $33.49 per hour, so our volunteer time is valued at $2,232,209. In summary, the proposed budget for the district would continue to support staffing, provide support and facilities necessary for Extension to offer a high level of educational services in Douglas County.
Thank you, Laura. Any comments, questions?
As usual, I'd like to
It wasn't, so it's probably sitting on my desk.
thank you and your team for the work you do in our county. It's pretty broad. It affects a lot of different people in the county. There's a lot of different programs. And from my perspective, it's one of the best investments we get, and the return on investment's great. So you have a very low tax rate, and I know the state helps quite a bit too, but the way it's put together seems to provide a really great benefit to the public.
I was gonna ask you about the rent. Could you help me understand that?
Sure. So prior to 2015, Extension was paying about $1,100 a year
For this,
for the same building.
Okay.
And then in 2016, our regional director, John Putches, approached the commissioners about remodeling the second floor to make it, one, just more livable, but to just support the expansion of our programs that we, had just grown through Douglas County. And so with that, there was the cost of improvements, or the county's cost of investment, was $182,000. And so we paid the higher rent over 3 years in order for them to recoup that expense. And so that was about $5,600 for 3 years. And then in 2019, we had another renewal of the lease, and that was about $1,100 a month. And then we had a renewal this year, and so this, am I telling you too much?
no,
Okay. Okay. I can make it a lot shorter. And so this year, I believe it's the land department manager came over with his assistant and did a walkthrough of the building and gave us a square foot.
Market rate.
Yes, the market rate. And I did because it's district funds. And so that's my job, is to make sure that we're using those district funds wisely. So I did bring in a commercial lease individual to also do a walkthrough of the building. And she said it was more than fair. And I knew that, but again, my job is to make sure that we protect district funds.
so it's gonna be the rate for
5 years, and there's
Renew, is it a 5-year lease?
with renewals in place, and then there is a small incremental increase each year. But it's a very fair price, especially for a downtown property. The downtown property is a little bit higher, which I'm sure you're all
So
over.
we were getting a good deal for a long time.
Yes,
Okay.
really good one that I budgeted for last year too.
Any other questions, comments? I would comment along with Tim, what a great bang for our buck. Certainly, and all you do for lots of different age groups. I would move, certainly entertain a motion. Any public comment? Okay. Hearing none. I would entertain a motion to approve with that tax rate.
Mr. Chair, I would move that the proposed budget for the Douglas County 4-H Master Gardener and Extension Service District be approved as presented, and that the district be approved to impose ad valorem taxes for the 2026 fiscal year at the rate of 0.060 per thousand of assessed value for operational purposes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Beavers. So this extension service